Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to another video here on the channel. Well, we just got some BlackRock news that's left a lot of people a little bit nervous, not necessarily myself included, because I don't think it's that big of a deal, but it is something that I at least am going to pay attention to. Now, today we're going to be talking about the fact that BlackRock just had its very first negative day with $36.9 million of Bitcoin outflows. This, of course, means that people didn't want to hold that Bitcoin ETF anymore, so they sold it, kind of, technically, whatever. Now, why is this a big deal? Well, the reason that this is a big deal is because up until this point, BlackRock had basically been buying every day. I mean, we saw days where they were buying 100 million, 500 million, a billion. I mean, just over and over and over again, just buying the shit out of Bitcoin. But then this week, something changed. About 4 or 5 days ago, we actually saw them stop buying. And now today, we're seeing them, or yesterday, technically, we saw them start selling. Now, there's a couple things that you need to understand. One, this is not BlackRock itself. Okay, so I don't think people recognize that. It's not BlackRock itself as an entity selling Bitcoin. It's the clients that they're servicing wanting to sell out of that position that they're holding for the client. There's a difference there, right? People don't necessarily understand that when something like ARK or Fidelity buys Bitcoin, it's not their company taking company profits and just buying Bitcoin. That's not what's happening. It's their clients who want to invest in the Bitcoin through their ETF. Therefore, the ETF or ARK or Fidelity or BlackRock in this case have to take those funds and then use those funds to buy the underlying asset for their client to then be able to hold. That's how that works, okay? So it's not like BlackRock, the company, is bearish all of a sudden. It's their clients, and their clients are people, and their clients are going to do the same shit that other people are going to do, but just a little bit less, okay? Because what you have to understand is they were buying, and maybe some of these clients bought Bitcoin at fucking $70,000, and now it's pulled back a lot, and they're like, screw that thing that I tried out for 2 days and lost a lot of money on. Let me go back to my VOO, right? It's just that simple. It's not that big of a deal, all right? Now, if we do see this continue, right? If we see this pick up a lot, then that can be concerning for the short term. Okay, that could be concerning for the short term. And the reason that I say that is because, at that given point, we could start to see, obviously, this thing really spiral out of control, and we start to see heavy outflows, because we did actually see some decently heavy outflows yesterday. I mean, the total outflows of the day were 563 million. GBTC still holding 164 million of that, so they're still selling a shit ton. Fidelity coming in with 191 million, selling off more than GBTC, which is interesting. ARK Invest with, of course, 98 million, and then we had BlackRock with 36 million. So the company that's bought the most is selling by a far the least. That's a good sign. 3 times less than the next one. So in my opinion, that's a good sign. It just goes to show that the clients that BlackRock are servicing aren't panicking. BlackRock's probably doing a damn good job of keeping them calm and compensated or whatever it may be, and they're not really freaking out. And so, yes, if this does pick up to where it's like 100, 300, 500 million a day, then obviously we have a bit of an issue, and we're going to likely see this market absolutely smash to the downside. But we're not there yet, and we're not likely going to get there, in my opinion. These companies, ETFs, don't just pop up, make a little bit of money in the short term, and then leave. Their goal is, okay, how can we make this asset or this thing make us money for years and years and years? That's always their goal. And you just go look at their histories. That's always their goal. And so because of this, it's not that big a deal. The market doesn't like it, but to me, it's not that big a deal. Now, because it's not that big a deal, in my opinion, I actually have been going out and buying some cryptos recently. I've recently picked up some more ones, and I do plan on buying a couple more today. I actually am planning on opening a couple little small long trades over on Bitcoin pretty soon here. I told you guys in the last Bitcoin video that my 2 breakdown targets were $57.6 to $57.8 thousand. That's exactly where we went down to. We lost the range low. We came to the Fibonacci extension, the 1.272 downside fib extension. Boom, we hit that thing perfectly. I do still believe that if we lose this level, we're likely headed down to 53.3K. If we do hit 53.3K, I am actually going to open up a couple little tiny 2-3x leverage trades just to kind of see if I can pick up some gains. They're going to be very small, isolated, no risk for me at all for the most part. I mean, tiny, but it's going to be kind of fun, right? I like to open up some long trades once we keep extending to the downside. So I plan on doing that rather soon here. I am going to be doing all of that through CoinW, guys. Please don't forget, if you do use the link down in the description below, you can get up to $30,000 in bonuses. You don't also need to KYC, meaning you don't need to give them any of your personal information, and you'll get free access to our trading group, which is also linked down below, to the verification group. If you do want to join us, I mean, dude, they give signals, they give calls, they have live streams, they have general support support chats where you can talk to pro traders and ask them questions. They give a lot. Okay, so go check that out down in the description below. Again, that's all accessible through CoinW down in the link down below. But overall, again, yeah, that's my little plan. I'm going to open up some long trades pretty soon here, but I am still waiting. I'm not doing that quite yet. I'll tell you whenever I do. Now, on top of that, as I mentioned before, I have been doing some more buying. I actually went on a bit of a shopping spree this morning, okay? So I bought some Bitcoin, of course. I bought a little Jasmy. I bought a little Render. Both of those are looking pretty good. I like where Jasmy's at. Jasmy is still within the range. I think there's a chance we're going to break down to this 0.0128 level. I have a video on Jasmy coming out later. I think there's a chance. It's not guaranteed, but there's a chance. And so if that is the case, I might go a little negative on the ones that I bought today, but I don't really care all that much because at that point, I think Jasmy's coming down to put in a higher load than a continuation. So it just is what it is. I'll just have to lower my cost if I am wrong, and it does lose the bottom side of this range and head lower. Again, yeah, I bought some Caspa as well. No, I actually haven't bought any Caspa yet, and I'll explain that. I have a Caspa video coming out later. I'll explain exactly when I'm trying to buy some Caspa, but I did buy some Render, wherever that thingy may be. Bought a little bit of Render because Render's holding up well in this this Fibonacci zone. I think there's also still a chance that it comes back down towards this $5.86 level, but I don't really care that much. I'll just buy a little bit more here. The majority of the purchases I did today were just like, the market might bounce, so I'll just buy a little bit, and if I'm wrong, I'll just buy more. I'll just lower my average cost and buy some more. It's fine. Same thing kind of goes with. I actually haven't talked about. I don't know if y'all call it ton or ton. I don't know if y'all know what that one is. 1 second. I'll show you what that one is. So this is the one that's more Telegram. That's kind of like the Telegram ecosystemic token, Ton coin or Ton coin, or like I said, whatever you want to call it. So what you can see here, let me just actually just go to their website real quick. I'm not going to go too deep into this one, but I do actually plan on making a full video about this pretty soon here. But what you can see here is that this is all more Telegram based, and this thing has really been catching momentum. It's connected basically directly to Telegram, and we all know how important Telegram is within the world of crypto. And so I was like, you know what? Now that we've finally seen a little bit of a pullback on this thing, like if we go out to the monthlies, we've seen a little bit of a pullback here. You look at the yearlies, it's not a huge pullback, but it is at least a little bit of a pullback. I'd like to buy a little bit of this thing. I was really late to the party, didn't really have time to look into it, and by the time March came around and it started catching momentum, it was way too late to be buying in this uptrend. But we did see it put in 5 waves. Now it is putting in a little bit of a pullback, so I was like, okay, now's the time for me to pick some up. So I'll explain that later on, and I'll do a little bit deeper research to where I'm comfortable explaining it on the channel, and then that's what I'll do. I'll go into that a little bit deeper. Going a little bit further, Polygon Matic. I haven't bought that one in a while just because I was kind of bored with it, but I picked up a little bit more. I picked up some Phantom. I picked up something called Ago. Ago is the only microcap that I picked up today. I think it's at like $3.69 million right now. It's actually holding up pretty well. This one's out there rather new, so it listed. You can see this is its coin market cap listing. I think it listed at 0.1, so like 10 cents on your dexes and stuff like that. I don't know why I couldn't think of the word dexes, but it listed it around there, so it's actually holding up quite well. Currently sitting up around like 13%, really flat throughout the month of April, which was pretty interesting because most of the market did dump, but this one held up quite well. Now what this one is actually pretty interesting. The reason I bought it was because they just have so much shit already. Like, they have so many things that they're doing at this given point, and they're only at like a $3.6 million market cap. I just think it's undervalued, and you guys know when I add to my little utility bag for microcaps, I always look for undervalued cryptos, and I just thought that that's what this was. What you can see here is that they actually give you a bunch of different options in terms of what you can do within their ecosystem. Okay, their whole focus is creating an ecosystem for as many investors to use as possible, and they're doing a damn good job at it, right? So what you can see here is that they have a couple things already. So they have a crypto buy card, like a crypto card that you can use to like buy things in the real world and obviously use their token, etc. They have an exchange that is already active. As you can see here, you can go in and trade futures or do whatever you want to do there. On top of that, they also have just your normal trading. So it's called Trading 3.0, in which you can actually go in and be able to, again, swap cryptos and things of that nature. And that was the derivatives that we talked about. You have the invest now and to their actual token itself, which we'll go into. And as I mentioned before, they have the Ago card. Now, on top of that, they also have their DApp, which now allows you to, again, buy crypto. You can see your vesting. You can go do your trading. Let's actually just exit that there. Boom. You can do your trading. You can do all of these things through their DApp, and they are actually building this out a lot more extensively now that they're going to take some of the revenue that they're generating and reinject it back into their ecosystem. Now, that is another cool feature of the company that I personally did like, the fact that they have such a big ecosystem, and this ecosystem is already generating revenue. And what's cool about it is that they're going to take that revenue and reinject it back into the ecosystem in terms terms of more development, so bringing you more things through their DApp and stuff like that, building out the exchange, building out the derivatives, building out other things like that. But on top of that, they have a goal of taking 80% of the revenue generated by the ecosystem and giving it back to holders and giving it back to stakers. And so because of that, I was like, you know what? I think this is undervalued. The fact that they already have this up, like your futures, the fact that their DApp's already up, the fact that they're already starting to implement some of these things. I think they have a centralized exchange listing coming up pretty soon here. That actually might be that's pretty soon. I'll keep you updated. Check the comments down below on that. And so because of that, I was like, you know what? This is definitely one that I thought was undervalued. I heard it through the grapevine, through my ecosystem, and I was like, you know what? This is, again, one that I want to add to my bag. So we did add some Ago. Sheeb was also another one that I did add just because, I don't know, dude, Sheeb just seems like it doesn't give a shit. Sheeb has these random moments where it just takes off. And so I was like, you know what? I want to add a little bit more of it to my bag because I wasn't sure if it was going to do that good this run. But I think after that pump that we saw from it, let me see if I can find it. After that pump that we saw from it right here, I mean, the likelihood of this thing just taking off again at some given point is pretty high. And so because of that, I was like, you know what, I'll add a little bit more to my bag there. And then, of course, we have Hedera, another one that we've been talking about a lot recently on the channel. So as I mentioned before, the news that we got about BlackRock wasn't really that big of a deal. I don't really find it all that important at all. And it's so unimportant to the extent that I decided to do the opposite of what the market has been doing. And I actually just started buying up some of this different cryptos. You guys know, yesterday morning when I made my videos, the market was very red. I mean, very red. And a lot of those buys that we did, picking up Bitcoin under 57,000, like a lot of those are already positive. And that's just what I'm talking about, guys. Like I made this post. No, not this one. I said, hey guys, guess what? If you buy crypto on red days, you make money on green days. Crazy, right? Now I said that in the middle of the crash, like in the middle of this thing dipping. And now look, a day and a half later, things are starting to look green again. And all of those purchases that we were doing back here at 8 a.m. are green, right? So it's just, you just gotta relax. You just gotta go against the grain. When people are selling, just start buying. When people are buying, just start selling. That's exactly what I do. That's the way that I play it, and that's how I continue to play it. So that's the morning update. That's the news. That's what I'm doing personally, guys. Actually, do go follow me on Twitter. I've been trying to post a lot more on here. Just talking about the things that I'm buying, posting some threads, retweeting some news, especially news that I end up using in videos and stuff like that. So feel free to go check that out if you'd like. My Twitter is, I never remember what it is, at Tyler Hill YT, all one word, all one thingy. So feel free to go check that out, guys. And then, of course, I have 2 more videos coming today at least. I have a Solana video. And then, no, maybe not a Solana video. I know I have for sure a render video. And then I have a Jasmy video. I know I have those 2 coming out. So stay tuned, subscribe, turn on notifications if you did enjoy this video. And then, of course, I will see you later today in the next ones. Peace out, everybody.